Hey guys, I'm Joe with Pocketnow.com, and this is a Motorola Xoom running Android 3.2 Honeycomb. We're going to see what it looks like now and what it looks like running Ice Cream Sandwich version 4.0. Let's go take a look. Alright, so this is the Motorola Xoom. It's the launch device, the partner launch device for Android version 3, which is codenamed Honeycomb. This has been updated over the air, it's still stock, we're not running custom ROM here, and it's up to Android 3.2.1. It's still Honeycomb. If you missed out on our last video, it was kind of an editorial about how Honeycomb was a necessary evil. You may want to pause this video and go and watch that one just to kind of get a feeling about what Honeycomb is and was and why. It's kind of gotten a bad name or a black eye. There are some reasons why, and well, we explain it all in that video. So this is what we've got. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, right here we've got our home screen. In fact, we've got lots of different home screens that we can choose from. As you scroll back and forth, you can kind of see a outline with a fade in of the apps coming from the next panel. Really kind of a cool effect. If you want to move something, you tap and drag, and you can't see it all that well. We'll come over here down by the moon, and you can kind of see a plus sign down there. There's a grid of pluses that shows up on the screen that lets you kind of line up and define where you're going to be placing these icons. You also have resizable widgets, so if we tap and hold on this, we have these little grabbing points, these little diamonds, so we can come in here and resize this widget to fit the space. Really kind of cool what they've done there, and that's carried through to version 4.0, which is Ice Cream Sandwich, and you've seen that on the Galaxy Nexus that we've shown you in other videos. So kind of cool what you've got there. This is also the first one that has done this, where you've got an apps and a kind of a My Apps type drawer there. Not really widgets per se in this view. In fact, if we go back home, if you want to drop a widget on the screen, you still have to tap and hold, and then you get, you know, your widgets, apps, wallpapers, and more that you can do from here. A little bit different than what you've come to see on Ice Cream Sandwich. I like how you've got your screens up here, and you can simply drag and drop from this area to that area to put things where you want to go. But I like having the apps and the widgets in the same drawer like we have in Ice Cream Sandwich. So kind of interesting. This, like I've shown you in other videos, has something called fragments. And what's a fragment? Well, I'll show you here a little bit. If you look over on this side, this is a list, and this is the content. So if we want to add a new note over here, we can add a new note in the list and see the content over there in the view. If this were Gmail, for example, we would have our Gmail list right here, all of our incoming emails, and we would have the body of the selected email over there. On a smartphone, it's kind of, this is one view, you select what you want, and then you have the other view in there. So it's kind of separated out, but from a development, from a coding standpoint, it's really the same thing. It's the same logic. You don't have to write the app twice to be able to do it. This is also where we've got our picker, our task manager, if you will. If we wanted to get rid of this, we can't. If you notice in Ice Cream Sandwich, we have kind of a swipe to dismiss. Well, you don't have that in this one. You've just got, you know, tap to switch into it. So one of the cool things about Ice Cream Sandwich. That's really all I have to say about Honeycomb. It's Honeycomb, and it does what it does, and that's about it. You've got kind of notification bar over here and soft buttons down here, back, home, and your multitask button. These fade away. In fact, so does this one. Kind of fades into just dots when you're in an app like Netflix, for example. Netflix is another good example of those fragments. There's a different view in the smartphone version, Gingerbread and Ice Cream Sandwich, than there is in a Honeycomb view or even an Ice Cream Sandwich view on a tablet, just because the tablet's got a bigger screen. So there we go. Here's kind of your status indicator. Lots of cool stuff in there, but it's been really laggy. Honeycomb does not have GPU acceleration for the core launcher. If you want to GPU accelerate your app, like if you've got a game, you can do that. You just have to put a couple lines of code into your app to turn it on. ice cream sandwich, it's turned on by default. So that'll be really cool to see how the performance improves from this to the next one. I'm going to go ahead and run Quadrant here if I can do that, and I'll show you the score here shortly. It's not optimized for tablet, so it kind of wonky how it moves all around and does that. You can see my fingerprints really well on there. But it's going through and running the test. It hasn't scored really well in the past. Probably isn't going to do too good here. So we'll see what it does on ice cream sandwich as well. Okay, so flashing ice cream sandwich onto the Xoom was really, really easy. What we're going to do now is just unlock. Now you'll notice we've got the ice cream sandwich style unlocker. Unfortunately, we don't have face unlock like we have on the Galaxy Nexus. If we come over here to security and take a look, our screen lock, we have none, slide, pattern, pin, and password. We don't have face unlock. I don't know why. But looking down here at the bottom, we can see we've got the new ice cream sandwich back, home, and multitask. If we come into multitask, we can see now we can easily dismiss these very fast, very quick. Looking over here, we've got the new icons, the new Roboto font, which honestly looks so much nicer than the font that we had on here before. I really didn't acknowledge or respect just how much crisper and clearer that font looked when it was on the Galaxy Nexus, but now that I see it on the Xoom, I'm really impressed. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is my screen. Now, I didn't have to reset, I didn't have to do anything, I just flashed, and it took quite a while, probably well, not quite 10 minutes to do a full boot before I was able to get up and running, which is not uncommon for a first boot after doing a full flash. Now, it remembered all of my icon locations where everything was, which is really, really nice. So I didn't have to do anything different. Now, taking a look over here, you'll see we've got the same behavior on the resizable widgets. So that's nice to have too. But did you notice this when I was swiping here? Everything is just so smooth and fluid. Really quite impressive how fast that was. Let's go ahead and open up calendar here. In fact, I'm going to use my calendar icon there. Now, this is also very smooth, very fluid, and it kind of shows you what I was referring to, where we have the view and then a fragment over there for a list. In this case, the list is a date picker. So we can come over here and look at my week agenda, see how that is, just flip through the weeks, just really, really fast. Month, same thing, except this goes up so we can get through that quickly. The agenda, we can just fly through that really, really quick. So really cool. I like it quite a bit. Contacts is new as well. So here's my contacts. I've got all of my groups over here, my favorites over there, just really fast. The way that things work here is a lot smoother. I mean, you just got to play with this to see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and go into what we can do here. Just like with Ice Cream Sandwich on a smartphone, long pressing on the desktop only lets you do wallpaper-like stuff. So here we can choose from the gallery, the live wallpapers, a perfect viewer, which is an app that I have installed, and wallpapers in general. So I like what I've got, which is a live wallpaper. This is Beautiful Weather, by the way, by the makers of Beautiful Widgets, which is what these two widgets is. Same developer. But let's go ahead and take a look in here and see what we can do. Let's get over to a screen that has some space on it. You'll notice now when we go into apps, we have apps and we have widgets. Okay, and notice how smooth this is. I mean, I can just flip through those as fast as I possibly can. It's really nice. It's really quick. Let's say we want to do some stuff with videos. Let's make a videos group. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the MX video player. I'm going to drop that right there. I'm going to go back and we're going to choose YouTube. We'll drop that right there and make a folder or a group. We'll do the videos app. We'll do XDA TV, just like that, and we'll go ahead and add, we'll go ahead and add Netflix into that as well. So now we can open this up, we can give it a name, and just like with Ice Cream Sandwich, we have these nice little tutorials that are, they kind of get in your way if you know what you're doing, but if this is the first time that you're using ice cream sandwich, it's kind of nice to show you what you can do. So I'm going to name this folder watching, just like that. And it's named. There we go. I can now position this wherever I want, and I can get rid of this however I get rid of it. I don't know how to get rid of it over here live on the screen. But anyway, you can see what we're talking about. Very quick, very easy, very smooth and fluid. I'm really, really impressed with the way this is. Now, I've never been able to get Quadrant to run on the Xoom. I don't know why, but I want you to see this. It blew my socks off. The boring part is up here at the front while it runs through this stuff, but the part that I like is the planets. You know the one I'm talking about where you've got the moon going in front of the planet? Well, it's really, really slow on the Xoom running Honeycomb, at least running Honeycomb 3.2, which is what I had most experience with on this device. Now, over here, if I can get this to run, and like I said, this is not a tablet-based benchmarking utility, but sometimes you can get it to do more stuff than others. But you'll notice just how smooth and fluid this is. Coming through here, we're at about 20 frames per second, 22. A little bit of a graphic anomaly and some missing stuff in there. That's supposed to have rings that goes up and down. This is what was really telling. Just smooth, fluid, crisp. We're getting above 40 frames per second. Over here, this is very resource intensive. We're still getting about 30 frames per second on that. Just overall, really, really, really nice. And this time we got a result back. Benchmarking it just shy of 1,700 points, which isn't tremendous, but you guys know as well as I do, benchmarks aren't always telling of the true performance. But overall, I'm really impressed. You know, of course, we've got our menu button down here at the bottom as well. This is what tablets are supposed to be, and Ice Cream Sandwich runs every bit as good on tablets as it does on smartphones. In fact, I'd be willing to go out on a limb and say it runs even better on tablets than it does on smartphones. Really kind of neat. Showing off Ice Cream Sandwich running on the Motorola Xoom for Pocketnow. I'm Joe Levi.